Let's take a look at the top 10 offseason transactions. This is according to CBS Sports. First was Tom Brady unretires. Second is that the Browns get Deshaun Watson, so Deshaun Watson chooses the Browns. And the ninth overall pick is that Amari Cooper is traded to the Browns. So without question, Browns needed to upgrade the passing game. They have two of the top 10 offseason transactions, according to CBSSports.com. Let's welcome in Quincy Carrier, YouTube personality. And Quincy, what about it? Does this significantly upgrade the Browns' passing game like it needed to be?
Yeah, it's a pretty huge upgrade, right? When you're talking about Amari Cooper, and now you're talking about Deshaun Watson, who, is going to be probably a top 10 player at his position and has the potential to be a top 5 player at his position, right? Like, this is basically you're trading for somebody who's, I don't know if there's a term for it, but they're middle floor, right? Their most likely scenario is like he's going to have like a Russell Wilson type year. And if he is protected and plays at his highest level that we've seen him at, I mean, this is a guy who can win the MVP. So this is a huge upgrade here. Even in Baker's best year, right? We weren't ever talking about Baker Mayfield as like an actual MVP candidate that could actually win it. This is a difference, right? This is a huge difference in it. You have now somebody who can fight with Lamar Jackson. Now you don't feel like you have to have things to go right to beat the Ravens or to beat the Bengals, right, when it comes to Joe Burrow and the guys who have those quarterbacks at that level. And you're sitting at a good position when it comes to the AFC, right, because you don't want to be guessing at the quarterback position when the whole conference is a complete gauntlet of who's at quarterback. Like, I don't know how they're going to determine who's going to make the Pro Bowl in the AFC at the quarterback position, because you have like 8 or 9 guys who've already made the Pro Bowl there, and then you go to the NFC, and Kirk Cousins, he's going to make the Pro Bowl this year in the NFC. So it's a wild difference between the two conferences.
Yeah, without question. And the one thing is there's a level of consistency, and it is consistently really good quarterback play. There just wasn't the consistency with Baker Mayfield that you need from that position. There were wild swings, and I think you're going to get more consistency, and the upper edge of it's going to be higher than it has been.
Yeah, and the thing with Baker Mayfield, and probably why it's hard to trade Baker Mayfield, is something that I pointed out during the season and during the offseason this year, which is when it comes to Baker Mayfield, he can play well. But that's kind of part of the problem, right? Because what has happened with him and the Browns, right? 2018, he plays well. We get excited. We built the whole thing around him in 2019, right? We're going to bring in Odell. We're gonna trade all these assets, and we're gonna build this around you as the guy. And then he has a bad 2019, and then 2020 he has a really good 2020. We do the same thing, go all in, push the chips in on Baker Mayfield, and then he comes out and has a pretty bad year. And that's the issue, right? It's not just that he's inconsistent; it's that when a quarterback's inconsistent like that and you want to build around him, you have no idea which guy you're getting. So you might end up wasting a bunch of money on a year for a quarterback who might end up playing, like Ryan Fitzpatrick one year, and then another year he ends up looking like Drew Brees. Like, it's just one of those things where you can't gamble on that if you're an NFL front office, because going all in and having a quarterback play badly, that's a surefire recipe to get somebody fired. And the truth of the matter is Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield are prototypical. They're going to get somebody fired quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you're a GM and you know that that's the case with those two, it's a pretty hard thing to trade for, right?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.